Hello there, sixth graders. It's Mr. Steely, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a graph and then insert it into a Google Sheets. So if you open up your science folder, you'll notice that there are two new files. One says ruler drop data with your first name, like Braden's, and another one says graph requirements, like Braden's. We're going to open up those two files and have them on our tabs. So up here, if you'll see graph requirements. Here's all the things that you're going to need for this graph. And that's kind of what the graph should look like at the end. We'll delete it now because I'll show you how to do it. And then you have this open spreadsheet that says ruler drop data. Now this is a summary of what we did in our lab. And it says 4 centimeters and 10 centimeters. If you want to add the ABCs, you could add ABC data or your magic word data. But I'm just going to focus on these two things today. So let's say for our 4 centimeter average time, it was 150 milliseconds. Oh, we don't put letters with just numbers. 150 milliseconds. And for our 10 centimeter, let's say it was 200 milliseconds. And let's say I didn't get to this. If you want to enter this data, you can. And if you want to graph that data, you can. But I'm just going to focus on this. Now I want to make a graph of just this information. If you want to graph everything, you're going to highlight everything. But I'm just going to want to highlight these three columns and only these three things. So notice that there's the only blank box is this. Notice that I'm only highlighting up to here and it has average time. Then what I do, I want to insert a graph or a chart. And so what I do is go over here to that chart. And it gives me a couple different types of charts. I select this column chart and I'm going to scroll down. Oops, do column chart and insert. There's my column chart. And then you can move it aside. You can see what you want to see. Notice that it has a label here, a title, average time, milliseconds with the units. It has a title that we're going to change in just a second. And there's nothing down here. Like I don't know what those numbers mean really. So we'll fix those in just a second. First of all, let's change the title to reaction time. Reaction time. And we don't want to change the font. We don't need to do anything. Press enter. Enter. And it worked. Hey, okay. We're not going to do anything here, but we want to add something here. And what I want to do is, we'll do that in just a second, but edit legend, right click on that and get that out of here. That's just extra information. We don't need that. So no legend. I don't want you guys to have a legend. But see this little arrow that's pointing down? Let's click on that. And let's do advanced edit. And this is great. Notice it has title, reaction time, legend. I don't want one. Font, leave it the font as is. We don't need to do the features. Axis, I do want to remind you, this is horizontal and this is vertical. Horizontal is also called the x-axis. And we want a title there. I want to put something. What are those numbers? 4 centimeters. Those are the finger distance. Type in finger distance, press enter. Notice, hey, finger distance. Now, no, we don't really need to have units because units are there, but it's nice to practice putting our units. So I'll put cm for centimeters in parentheses. And I don't think I need any other information. Data labels are kind of cool. If you want to put data labels, it puts the value in right there. That's kind of neat. And then we do update. Now, one other thing I want you guys to do, this could be kind of misleading just visually. It looks like there's this huge difference in this. But this is a problem. We need to always start our graphs at 0. So I want us to double click on this y-axis or this vertical axis. And where it says minimum, I want you to do 0. And where it says max, I want you to do 100 milliseconds more than your slowest time. So if our slowest time was 200 milliseconds, we're going to put 300 milliseconds, enter. Okay. So notice that we changed the scale here. Now it's from 0 to 300, and that gives us a better representation of the difference. It's not so misleading. So basically, we're done with our graphs. Make sure there's a label or title here. There's a label or title here. That you have 0 here and whatever 100 highest and your slowest time there. And you got rid of the legend. Beautiful. You are done. Congratulations. Now we're going to put that into this graph requirement sheet. Now let's go through this again. Graph has a simple column chart. Check. Graph has a title reaction time. Check. The x-axis is labeled finger distance. Check. Y-axis is labeled average speed, ms, or milliseconds. Check. One column is labeled 4 centimeters, and the other is 10 centimeters. The legend is removed, no legend. The y-axis starts at 0 and ends 100 milliseconds longer than your slowest time. And the graph is inserted below. We need to do that. So let's go back to here, where our graph is. And we basically right-click and, we go into this button right there, copy chart. We go back onto this sheet. And we get to where we want to be. And then right-click, paste. What does this mean? Link to spreadsheet. Yes, because that means if anything we change on our spreadsheet, it will change on this graph. It's really cool. So we go paste. Voila! Our graph is right there with everything we had. And we've checked off all this list. Congratulations, you have made a graph and put it into a Google Sheets. Yay, it's over. Thanks. Goodbye.